So, first topic of the day. If you're a woman online, you are probably familiar with these two stories. But wanted to talk to you guys about the hot girl controversies that are happening on TikTok right now. So, if you don't know, obviously we've talked about book talk before. It's a very powerful community. And it's always I think they said it's first documented in 2009 or 2019. I'll fact check myself in the description for this. But hot girls read has been a term that has been used in the book talk community for quite a while. And I think this started happening maybe 3 weeks ago. A content creator trademarked the term hot girls read, and she immediately started going after small businesses and other creators who were using that term in events, in merch, etc. And the book talk community pushed back against her so hard that after a couple weeks, she had to surrender her TikTok. Because they said it was owned by the community, not her. Hot Girls Read couldn't be owned by a single person because it had been used as far back as 2009 online. And simultaneously, Hot Girls Walk is having a controversy right now. A TikToker, Mia Lind, is claiming that she invented the concept of hot girl walks back in 2020. She said that nobody was walking for health. It was before she brought it up in 2020. And similarly, since then, she's made it her brand. She's released a self-help book. She's built a whole entire lifestyle platform on owning and like being the creator of Hot Girls Walk. So now, similarly, she has trademarked the term and is going again after content creators and small businesses who are using the term. And currently, like, she is getting a lot of backlash because it's basically the exact same situation as what Book Talk saw, but she is holding strong as of Tuesday, June 30th. That she is the originator of Hot Girls Walk. She is the rightful owner of the term. So I wanted to talk to you guys. I just think it's very funny that this is happening at once. And these terms that communities feel like they own that become such a big part of internet discourse. And like, is there such thing as owning that once it reaches like a certain scale? Melissa.
Thank you for the rundown on this. Before we like share our opinions and thoughts, I have one question on when these individuals are going after, quote unquote, going after people using them, like, are they going after like just another creator, like using the hashtag or the term, or is it like other people who are like making merch or like
Yeah. So how it works is like I could make a TikTok and just be like, oh, I'm going on a hashtag hot girl walk. There's nothing she could do with that because I'm not like monetizing the term
Okay.
or something. What seems to be the catalyst for both of these situations is that other content creators put on events that used the term. So like another content creator wanted to do an IRL meetup and she called it like, oh, let's all go on a hot girl walk. And so Mia then went after her. And I think it's similar to Hot Girls Read. So once other people have tried to like create events using the term or like monetize it themselves, that's when the trademark has been enforced.
And is there any precedent with this? Like, did they mention like, oh, this has come up before, or like, or is this
No,
sort of a newer thing?
I mean, yeah, I think it's like a newer thing with online communities. Like, I think
Okay.
you could coin if you come up with like a catchphrase, you can trademark that catchphrase and you become known for it. But I think like maybe she mentioned like hot girl walk in a TikTok like back in 2020, but like then other content creators created videos using the term and like simultaneously blow it up. Like, she didn't like, yes, maybe she's the first one who said it, but like, did she make it? No. Like, is she the one who made it widely known and like a term that was widely used?
Hmm.
Hey, Megan, you have any
Yeah,
thoughts?
Megan, what's your thought?
I think this is kind of just like a product of where we're at in culture right now, where it feels like everything's been done and everything's been created, and we're in kind of like an idea era where it's like if you have an idea for a concept of the community, that counts. But I think what you were seeing with the backlash to the Hot Girls Read and the Hot Girls Walk is like just having like the stamp of approval that like legally or on paper something is yours is no longer enough, and people are looking for like deeper ownership and like a deeper claim to something than just being like I got here first and I had the idea to trademark first. And like this idea that a community can own something more so than like a person can, I think is really interesting. And it was like I was not surprised to see the Hot Girls Read like that it went the way it did. Like she immediately was like, I take it back, I'm sorry. Like, because it was like that was so egregious. The Hot Girl Walk, I think, is a bit different because I think that that's like less of just like a blanket statement and more of like something that you can eventize and sell tickets to and make part of a brand. And so I think that is a little bit more complicated because that is within the realm of something that we would let someone take and run with in our current era of culture. But it's
Yeah.
interesting that they kind of rejected Mia as the person who got to trademark it and run with it, you know?
Yeah.
And also, I do want to add, because I would be remiss if I didn't. I think people are also saying, like, yes, maybe you said hot girls walk, but really the originator of this whole hot girl idea is Megan the Stallion with Hot Girl Summer in 2019. So I just want to make
Yeah.
sure I credit her with that in this conversation.
And even like I feel like there was a meme about hot girls having IBS. Like the whole hot girl thing was like a meme. It'd be like if someone random tried to coin girl dinner as being like, this is
Yeah.
my brand now, girl dinner. I'm selling meals that are like small. And I think it's a very interesting, I feel like very modern problem because like that's the thing now where you can go to restaurants and they have girl dinner on the menu. And it's like that is something you can purchase, but they're not claiming to like own the concept of girl dinner.
Yeah. I mean, what I think would be a very smart business out of this? You guys gonna I think that there's like a need for a company that makes copywriting things like really easy. Should actually become like a problem. But um I think that like ownership over things and like how like the lines of that and like how you carve out like demarcation lines of stuff is just getting harder and more complicated and like whatever. And so I think that if there was a way to make copywriting things easier and faster, like, I mean, I've thought about that, like, even with empty deco content. I think I mentioned it in our
Mhm.
last call. Like, I'm like, you know, like, I wish it was easy to copyright stuff and like make it, you know, like have, or at least like have ownership over like my stuff because there's been a whole era of the internet of like everything's free. And so it's like this open, like kind of marketplace. But now I think we're starting to see like this monetization is creeping in, right? Like it's like creators are becoming it's like it's an actual profession and like people are making money and like now it's a marketplace. And so how do you sort of like create ownership over things and how do you make it grow and how do you sort of use the algorithms and the platforms to reach the communities that are going to spend the money and all of that. So I think this is like I mean, why I ask if there is like a precedent for this. Well, like it's gonna whether it's this or something else, like it's gonna like something's gonna come up. And like I've even thought about like, as you were talking, Emma, like I think one of the creators that we always bring up that I think does such a like an incredible job of like franchising and like making something out of nothing and then like turning it into like Discourse's tanks. Like she makes things up. Like, so it's not Rich Mom Walks, but she does, or sorry, it's not, what is it, Hot Girl Walks, but she does Rich Mom
Yeah.
and RMW. And like, I don't know if anyone has done that before her, but like, did she make her own version of that? Maybe.
Mhm.
Um, which is pretty brilliant. It's like sort of these
Yeah.
like offshoots. And then, again, like more recently, she started, which I just thought was genius, her Christina's Cafe. Every morning she would, her coffee machine, she calls it Christina's Cafe, has a cup of coffee, and like she would talk about Christina's Cafe, blah, 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 blah. Lo and behold, it turned into an IRL meetup with her community. It was an actual real life cafe that people could attend, and it was like in collaboration with Under Armour,
Yeah,
and like,
she's a perfect example. She actually weighed in on this and she said she got her inspiration from Megan Thee Stallion. And she said she's the OG hot girl. Um,
yeah.
but I thought it was really funny. The content creator who did the hot girl walk that started all of this, where I'm using quotes like OG hot girl walk girl, started going after her legally. She then changed the name of her walk to high temperature girl walk as a way to get around the trademark.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I need to sit with this more because there is this idea that like if it's in culture and it's part of discourse, then like why mess with it? Right? Like that why mess with your relevance then, you
Yeah,
know?
I think it's like, why mess with your community? Because that is really what's like monetizing you. Like, Mia, it's like, cool. Like, you can make more self help books about being the creator of Hot Girl Walk. But like, if you piss your community off in the pursuit of that, who is going to buy your book? Like,
Right. Well, also I really have a reframe with this and like we say to clients all the time, like some of the best collaborators are your quote unquote competitors. So like I wonder if there's a way to have looked at this and been like, okay, so there's this like other creator doing this. Maybe I could like partner with her and we like do this together. And like there's like a way for us to like both own a piece of this. And it's like, all boats rise in the tide, whatever that saying is. But like it's better for people to be doing rich mom walks than like shutting people down
yeah,
or moving them over to like high temperature girl walks or to the rich mom walks.
yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll see how this nets out and we can like
Yeah.
maybe
I
regroup.
mean, it's going to like, this is where we are in the curve of creators, and like monetization. And like, it's inevitable that people are going to try to own their IPs of things. But like, how quickly, again, someone started a copywriting business because how quickly can you copyright something, and get your name next to it and be like, I own it.
This is actually a pretty good segue into our next topic, which is also about a strong brand pissing their core fandom off. We have talked a lot about A24 and how great they are, like how they're basically the only like studio who has where you see somebody walking down the street and they're wearing an A24 hat. Like you don't see that for Warner Bros. Um, and they are having a little controversy with their community. They've just announced a $75 million research partnership with Google DeepMind, which is Google's like AI arm, and their fan base is very pissed off. So the deal is operating through A24's tech startup, A24 Labs, which I didn't even know they had, and it aims to build new filmmaking tools and workflows via AI. They're framing it as we want to make filmmaking more accessible to people, and make the tools easier. But I think their timing was a bit off, given that their most recent hit, Backrooms, had very strong anti AI themes. And I just think like AI sentiment is like very negative culturally right now. So I wanted to get your guys' take since we've talked about A24 and like their amazing fan base, and they've hit a bump in the road.
Yeah. I think that this is interesting. I'm not surprised. I feel like everyone is being very pressured to adopt technology. And I've seen Hollywood kind of falling into a few camps. It's either like fully embrace, and that's kind of where the more business and exec minded people are of like, this is the future. We need to get ahead of it so we're not falling behind it. Then there's the opposite end of the spectrum, which is like, I hate AI. It is the antithesis of creativity and we should not be using it at all. And then there's a lot of people who fall in the middle where it's like, it's here. I would rather have a say in shaping it than no say at all. And then just be told we're doing this in like a few years from now. And so I think it's kind of a no win situation right now for Hollywood. Like either you're vehemently against and you're going to have to wait out this kind of like, this is a bit of a bubble but like AI is the future. So it's
It's
like,
not going away.
it's not
It's
going
it's
away.
not going
So
away.
you're going to have to figure out how to ride this out, or you're going to just fully embrace it and get the backlash from that, or even touching it, like you said, it's like radioactive, I feel like, to people who value creativity right now. And A24 built so much of their cultural relevance on that. And specifically, I feel like built their brand being less of like a production studio and more of like a curator. And like even like a lot of the stuff we talk about and the products and the merch that they do is centered around the theme of curation. And so if your favorite curator suddenly is going down a path that you're like, I vehemently disagree with this, I could see why there would be such backlash to this. But I also see where A24 is coming from.
Emma, when you say like backlash, is it sort of manifesting anywhere? Is it on their social? Is it like in
Yeah,
Reddit?
it's
Is it
all over their
they're
comments.
just like
It's
spamming, getting spam?
Reddit. Yeah. It's very negative and they're aware of it. They are arguing, Megan, you hit the nail on the head. They said it's inevitable. And we as filmmakers want to be able to frame AI, how AI is created in this partnership with Google is our way of doing that.
Yeah.
And Google is like the foremost and like, in my opinion, like doing some of the most actually innovative AI work versus just selling you the concept of AI. I
Yeah.
also don't like AI, I just have to say. And like, but I work in tech and like all of my clients are mandated to use it. And so I don't get to live in the reality where I get to be like, I hate it and I'm not using it because I just would be out of a job and would have to go get a new job.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why I'm like sympathetic towards A24. But I also do think that there's something to be said for thinking critically about how AI fits into a very creative, artistic picture like A24. And like, I haven't even heard any of that. I've just been hearing they're working with the AI and that's bad. And so I feel like they could have done more table setting and made a better case for why this makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think my mind goes like, I wish they talked about like 3 projects that they're gonna like, focus on and like just even as like top line examples. Um, I'm also curious too, like, as you guys have said, it's like it's hitting Hollywood. Feels like there's a lot of stuff hitting Hollywood right now. There's also like all the streaming and the YouTube of it all, and like it's like sort of there's a lot of movement happening. I feel like in like the classic of the classic sense of Hollywood. It's disrupted. It's getting disrupted, I think. I'm curious, like in the like film and arts world, like who is taking a stance to not? Because I'm sure there's production houses and um filmmakers that are like consciously not. And like I'm like almost curious, even as like a case study to like follow along with, you know, or follow other companies that are like kind of gonna like consciously not utilize AI, or like if they are putting a stance against it, like I just want to sort of be on there, like have them on our radar too. Um yeah, I don't know. I mean I agree with you, Megan. Like I don't think that there's like a winning situation here, and it's better to like be on the cutting edge, be a part of the creation of it, help shape it than not. And I think A24 even being like sort of indie sort of like, kind of, I think that has served them really well, like not consciously not being mainstream. So I will say I'm actually really interested and excited and curious about what they're going to come back with, you know? But
Yeah,
I like say that with I am not as deeply familiar with Google and DeepMind in the way that Megan is. So I don't really know, but I do think like I don't see this headline as like doom, I guess.
I think it's like also compounded with the fact that, like you said, A24 has been like an indie darling. And I think their core fans are very like, if you know people. And this is tension with them becoming more mainstream and putting out like legitimate blockbusters. Like they were recently evaluated at $3.5 billion. Like A24, maybe it's indie compared to like major studios, but like it's a multi-billion-dollar brand. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. Um, so why are we shocked? Like, why
I
are,
guess it's like what is it? What would we say? Like mainstream indie? It's like
yeah, like mainstream.
Well,
manufacturing indie.
I think you're right. I think that there's some underlying kind of deeper anxieties about A24 kind of shedding their old self because like this is coming off the heels off of the back rooms and just them getting bigger, Marty Supreme. But I do think that there is a danger. I think that so much of what A24's value is tied to may be that they're able to produce blockbusters, but I think the reason it's attractive to people is because they're able to create cultural relevance. And that's really what their skill is. And that's more marketing and cultural narratives than it is actual, like the films themselves. So this is a bit of a reputational crisis if it is enough for their core cool consumer to be like, I don't like this enough to defect from being a fan of the brand. But I think people are more forgiving than they think they are.
I think I agree. And I think like maybe their merch will take a hit in the short term, but they'll put out their next movie and people will be in theaters ready to watch it. Okay, our final topic, and we're going to talk about it live right now, but when this is posted, it will be exclusive for our paid subscribers. So, little plug. Um, Okay, so headline: People have stopped trusting news, but not newsrooms. So Reuters put out a new digital news report, and social media has officially overtaken traditional news sources.